got a question for you all, which I think you already know the answer to, and that is, who is the best? I don't mean bodybuilding, I don't mean powerlifting, I don't mean anything specific, just in general, who is the fucking best? Right? And I don't mean a person, I mean, what do they all have in common? Right? Regardless of like talent or innate skill, the guys who are the best at anything are the ones who fucking do it the most. The ones who have the most hours clocked in to whatever thing that they're interested in. And there's actually one more step past just clocking in hours. Those hours have to be fucking active, right? I'm sure we all have, I mean, some of us worse than others. I've got a total, well, for something like Counter-Strike, I've got 1,000 hours. I played 1,000 hours of Counter-Strike. That's a lot of fucking time. Am I an esports professional? No, not at all. Because those hours were spent just fucking, goofing off and talking, right? Whereas somebody who spent that much time and they were actually sitting there actively, like doing aim, doing aim training or whatever else, and like really intently trying to get better at what they're doing, dude. These guys are fucking making $bazillion a year doing esports competitions, right? And they may have spent the exact same amount of time playing whatever that game was as like, a regular fucking dude. So that's where lifting is absolutely no different. And honestly, I feel I'm a little spoiled when I do these talks because it doesn't have to be just working out. Like, working out is so simple, like it just makes sense. Go hard, do it a lot, then you're gonna get gains. But it fucking translates to everything. You know what I'm saying? So it then you've got a challenge. All right, how the hell am I supposed to spend? I mean, let me think. So my workouts are usually an hour and a half long, and that's let's just say 340 days a year. I take a couple off days every so often, but maybe we'll just say 350 to keep it even. So that's 350 times 1.5. So that puts me at what, 525 hours a year, not including the working, not including the eating and the cardio. Let's just say the actual weight sessions in the gym. That's 500 hours a year. How am I supposed to do that if I don't like it? How am I supposed to spend that much fucking time on something if I don't actually kind of enjoy it? So that's where I think it helps to, at least for somebody who's kind of looking for more motivation, dude, gamify it. It's pretty easy to look at something or look at someone else and like immediately pinpoint, dude, that guy's not that guy's not trying at all. He's not going to make any gains. Dude, that guy's form is like way off. Oh my goodness. That guy just stopped a set at like 20 reps left in reserve. Eesh. But when it comes to saying that to yourself, not so often, right? It's like, oh, my elbow's starting to hurt. Put it down. No, well, I'm going to be busy later. I'm just going to leave early. Like it's, the person you're making excuses for the most is typically you to you kind of inner monologue style. So that's where if you can have a good grasp on like, okay, this has a direct relation with my end goal, or with whatever your end goal may be. Could just be being in a state of making progress. That's a really good fucking goal to have. So if that's the case, at least for me, I'm like, oh, okay, fuck, dude, I gotta buff my stamina. I gotta fucking buff my endurance stats. Let's clock 20 minutes on the cardio bike. All right, I want to fucking, keep gaining weight. Let's, dude, gotta buff my mass. Fucking chat out, right? However many calories a day. So that's, if you can think about it like that, it might help. I don't know though, because I'm not really the best guy to ask, like, saying, what do you do when you're not feeling motivated? Or like, what do you do if you if you like sort of feel off about it? And because oh geez, when it comes to the bodybuilding side of things and the working out side of things, I'm not sure what my end goal was in the beginning, because I'm about 6 years deep now, and I was like a 160 pounder. I guess I definitely knew I wanted to be jacked. But in that entire time, I don't think I've ever had one. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a real thought of like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Oh man, and maybe maybe it's just because I'm like wired in a weird fucking way. But kind of early on ish, I was watching somebody say something where it was basically like trying to adopt the mindset where any negativity or any kind of like added difficulty from just circumstance or like whatever else, or like somebody doesn't think you can do it, or like, this somehow take that in as negative energy, and then internally, before you actually like internalize it, flip it around into fucking hype. Oh, all these guys are fucking out partying tonight and I'm at the gym. Fucking losers. Come on. Do a crazy set of squats. Like like little things like that. Which I'm sure is probably flawed in some kind of way. Or in all sorts of different sort of like psychological whatever. But it does have a pretty solid translation to consistent effort. So you gotta look at yourself, man. I mean, I'm you way more than I ever could. So somehow just allocate an hour a day, including the including probably the 30 to 40 minutes of total transit, getting there and back. And as long as you can do that and you actually want gains, for the most part, people can pick up the pace pretty quickly. I feel like the issue isn't really like starting, like once somebody has finally decided, okay, all right, I'm going to the gym for the first time. And it's like no buddies, no friends. You didn't plan like a meeting, like you're just going on your own. You're doing a workout. Once you've made that first step, the next year, as long as you can stick to it, it's pretty legit. You're going to be watching enough fitness videos and like different tutorials, or like copying other guys' sort of chest days and stuff, where you're going to get the grasp of things. The only one of the great filters, or like the great like walls to overcome after that initial phase of non-lifter to lifter usually happens maybe a year, 2 years deep. That's where you have to really take control of your diet, sleep, and hydration to continue to make gains. So it's no longer just a question of, okay, I did my workout today. It's you got to make sure that your full recovery system is in order so that you can actually utilize that training you just did for continued gains. But I mean, that's for you to decide, man. That's your own fucking journey. So when I think of myself in however many years, I don't it's not like, I mean, I don't think of myself if I gained 30 pounds of muscle like, oh my god, I can't fucking wait to be that big. That's going to be insane. It's almost like I'm not even thinking about the specific end goal. It's more like right now, today, I want to be the kind of lifter where I'm making adjustments, I'm continuing to make gains, and if I ever run into any sort of plateau, I want to be able to adjust and like evaluate everything I'm doing and then change whatever I think needs changed to keep moving forward. And as long as that's the case, I mean, just looking back over fucking this full time period, I think I am going to have a solid ass trajectory. But enough kind of fucking motivational talk. That's really something you're gonna have to be thinking in your own mind. Maybe maybe put your phone down and sort of have a nice little one-to-one with you on that front. But plan for today's lift with back. Nothing fancy. Pull downs, rows, pullovers. I used to love the a hammer strength row that's in this gym. It's the one with like sort of just a seated chest supported. You bend over, you're pulling the weight sort of up like this. It's not really an awesome description, but something about it, I don't know, it just hasn't been doing it for me. So I don't think I'm going to do anything too crazy heft wise. Definitely. Oh yes. Definitely no bent over barbell rows today. I can tell my legs are still fucking cooked from 2 days ago, and honestly to the point where I think I might need a light day for quads on this coming leg day. I can tell I kind of have a like sometimes if I squat a little bit too heavy day after day after day, or lift after lift, it'll give me a little bit of a shin splint. Not too bad, but enough where it's a little bit annoying. So next leg day might be a little more hamstring focused with some lighter quad work. Don't want to overdo it to the point of fucking continual tweakage. But let's not think about that now, right? It's time for back. So let's roll up, grab some straps, and pick whatever movement number 1 is going to be. Let's just start with some single arm pull downs. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah, okay. 1 or 2 more. Same weight, same everything. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. 1 more. One little tip when it comes to, let's just say, lat isolation is when I'm doing a single-handed D-handle sting like this, obviously using straps, but I'm also trying to kind of pull with like the pinky side of my hand instead of up here. Just helps me take my fucking forearms out of the equation. Because if you're not careful, this can turn into a complete fucking upper arm workout, and your biceps and your forearms can be wrecked. I think I'm getting well, hopefully as minimal as I can get arm activation and focusing solely on my lats. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. Time for a row, I think. Those pull downs were heavy and controlled. I'm gonna make this one heavy and nasty. Not the full stack though. I'm leaving the extra, 5-10 pound additional weight at 0. 290s is probably within the maximum reason. But I don't mind if these are a little dirty. All right, let's completely flip that style upside down and do a controlled squeezing set, upper back focused. Logic here is sometimes I like a very wide sort of angled row, because if not for the sake of just the fact that I like the way it feels, it is a different approach than typical, right? With a typical row, your hands are yay wide and they stay that same distance the whole way around, which nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's pretty fucking classic, but that's like saying you should only do pressing for chest because, oh, well, you're hitting your chest just like this. I mean, why do anything else? Would you ever stop doing cable flies because like, oh, well, I'm just working my chest, right? So there is a value in just hitting things in different ways. And I just like the way this feels. Very squeeze focused, of course. Not the same crazy stretch as like a, regular seated row. But it's still gonna pump up my mid back, which is what I'm aiming for. And I just finished a real stretch-based movement over there with that seated machine row. So nothing else to say but to do it. Same thing about pulling through the pinkies. Okay. All right. I think let's do one more finisher, and that'll be it. Straight bar rows as the pre-exhaustion. Widen neutral grip pull downs as the burnout. Oh, yeah, okay. There. Holy crap. Let's go do some lat spreads. Back fucking complete. And I've got some thoughts. To discuss. Today's back day exceeded my expectations, which I don't think is more so to say with like I went triple effort than normal. More so, I think sometimes I look it back with a little bit of complacency, which is probably a bad thing. But for me, being back kind of is a bit of a strong point. But with some of those sets, it's fucking squeezing the life out of my fucking lats. I'm talking, there we go. I'm talking, what's a good example? I'm talking predator to prey. I'm talking snake to a mouse. I'm talking lion to a gazelle. I'm talking hawk to a snake. So added in perfectly with those examples. Lifter to a set. So I was just kind of getting into it with somebody. One of the boys getting into it's like, what do I really have to change? I want to see some more gains. And overarchingly, this is my stance, right? I feel like for 90% of the lifters that are floating around and they're not totally making the rate of progress that they want to make, the training is probably not the issue. Now, if it is, then somebody looking at you probably knows it, right? I mean, we've all seen guys train with like scrappy intensity. But even if you're training like not even failure every set, but just decently hard, then that should be enough to induce some growth. Now, over time, you're going to want to make that training more and more, at least closer to like your maximum intensity for that lift, just to really fucking sort of maximize your stimulus. But you don't have to be training like Dorian Yates as a year one lifter to make legit solid fucking muscular gains. So if the answer isn't the training, then what else in the equation of gains is, off kilter, right? Or potentially undervalued. And I'd say the biggest one, it's your food, man. It's your fucking food. And it's hard to really, it's hard to explain the importance of anything for, and to have that like idea really get basically incepted into somebody else's mind. Because actually kind of living through something and getting a good grasp on it and like, okay, this actually does have an effect. That's where you're going to know. I mean, I use this example all the time. You can tell your kid you can tell them 1,000 times, don't touch the stove. But they're only really going to understand when they burn themselves and say, holy shit, that is fucking hot. Damn. They didn't learn any new information, right? You told them already it's hot, but now they actually get it, right? So when it comes to your food, same thing with having to take that first step to go from non-lifter to lifter. It's like, okay, I'm going to the gym now. This is what I do. You got to make another new identification with yourself and say, okay, I track my calories. That is what I do. I'm not doing this for a few weeks. I do this. This is what I do now. And if you can do that, there are fucking substantial gains that await you afterward. The issue is it kind of sucks. It's a little bit of a chore because not only do you have to, every time you eat something, look at the nutrition info in the back, plug it into your phone, and then, have that extra step in the process of, before you get to your fucking 2 bags of pretzels that you just got from the vending machine. Speaking from an experience I just had 5 minutes ago. But you're also going to have to start eating in a different way. No longer is it just, okay, I'm going to check out the fridge, I'm kind of hungry. It's like, all right, I got 50 grams of protein left. Let's eat a very specific meal. I need something with 50 grams of protein, whatever. But don't think of that as just a random chore. When everybody thinks about dieting, be it bulking up or dieting down, the only thing that gets talked about, at least for the most part in any mainstream kind of context, it's like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. Oh, dude, I don't want to feel like I'm starving myself in a deficit. What are you talking about, bro? No. Never is a reference like, okay, that's the cost, that's the difficult side, and then the upside is you make either muscular gains or body fat loss, which to some can be a pretty insane fucking, change to their entire life's trajectory if you can make a crazy solid body fat loss transformation. Nobody talks about the hype. Nobody talks about the upside. It's always like, oh, well, you don't want to go out, but what are you going to do? I mean, we're all going out to eat. Come on. We can't all get food and then you not eat anything. Just get something. Dieting and really just kind of living like a training lifestyle, it's not normal. It's not conducive with what the general fucking populace of guys that are probably around you are into. So that's an extra level of effort there, because now you're a little bit acting out, right? You're sticking out a little bit from everybody else. But if you know that these gains and these or this fat loss is what you want to do, then sticking out shouldn't fucking bother you. You're doing what you want to do because you know that it's all going to pay off later on for you specifically. Who gives a shit if you're fucking, if somebody looks at you for bringing in a Tupperware for lunch of fucking, rice, chicken, and broccoli and nothing else. Right? Have a little bit of, it's probably a combination of, let me see, what's the word I'm thinking here? Obliviousness and just, focus on your own shit. I mean, nobody else really cares anyway, right? If you seriously lock it into the gym, or if you don't, I mean, it's not going to change, the world, but it is going to change your world for you, right? And that's the one that really matters, right? Nobody else outside of your direct circle should really concern you too bad, and especially not you trying to like match their expectations. So not to flip that around, but dieting is usually the issue. So if you know somebody who is saying like, oh, dude, I'm not really making the gains that I want to make, I mean, I would love to see your macro intake for the last 3 weeks. And another downer for a lot of you guys here, you need to do your cardio as well. I mean, there's been massive fucking Olympia level characters, open Olympians, fucking going down in the legends, saying, dude, I mean, I never did cardio, right? You are not Jay Cutler, right? You are not fucking Jay. And what I mean by that is, it's not always in your best interest to listen to the 0.001%. Now, of course, that works for them, but they're in a completely different circumstance. I can say with certainty that if you add 30 minutes of daily cardio into your routine at a moderate intensity, I'm not talking dying. I'm talking like if you're playing on your phone at the same time, it's going to be over before you know it. That's going to have a serious impact. Your metabolism is going to fucking increase. Your baseline blood glucose levels are going to decrease to a more, well, at least stable kind of range. You're going to be leaner. regardless of if you're bulking up or cutting down. And then when you train, you're going to have better endurance, so you'll be able to go harder during the training, get better gains from it, and it's just a fucking positive feedback loop. You know, that's where backing off a touch from an instant gratification mindset is going to do you some good, right? Now, what's going to be more fun? Okay? Spending $120 and going go-karting, or putting that right into your savings account and hanging out at home. Right? Obviously, fucking go-karting, which now it's making me think about taking Mark and doing a little go-kart crew trip. But if somebody were to do that, every chance that they got, you know, versus saving everything up, which is less fun, who's going to be happier about it at the end of the day, right? So just a little something to think about there. So when it comes to your actual training, the guys who walk into the gym and say, "Oh shit, his legs today." Nah, come on, dude. Let's just fucking do chest, man. Come on, we'll do legs later. Oh, dude, you're doing cardio? Ugh. I mean, sure you can. I don't freaking want to. Oh my god, dude. Who fucking cares, bro? Come on, we're going out for like just a few hours. Dude, you don't need another meal, dude. You're always fucking eating. After 2 fucking years, everybody else is gonna be asking that guy, "Oh, what's the best bicep movement there is?" And there's a reason for that. That guy fucking locked it in. So every avenue, gains-wise, that you can lock yourself into, if you actually want gains in the long run, that's the way to do it. So that's my little shtick there, right? Put some time and effort into things that are going to pay you dividends later on. Even though I know it sucks doing 30 minutes of fucking cardio or 30 minutes of an incline treadmill or anything else, it'll pay off later. And if you've got a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, you get to feel kind of good knowing you're doing something that not a lot of other people are willing to do. So that's another kind of a little motivational vector of things. But plan for tomorrow, arms. Oh my goodness. I'm hoping morning weight is going to be 272. 271 has been a hard number to break past, but that will not stop this. That will not stop this bulking momentum. Not until I feel like I've really plateaued, and then that'll be the cue to die down. But let's just go home, eat something, then hit the sack. So I'll see you for arms.